Welcome to the Built to Grow podcast. I'm your host, Jesse. This is a podcast for window replacement owners, marketing managers. If you work into replacement, this podcast is for you. We go everything from business to advertising to sales to hiring, all that kind of stuff. We have a bunch of industry experts lined up and successful window replacement company owners to come on here. But today, what I want to talk about is the change that's happened in the last 6 months with Facebook and Instagram ads. So Meta, the parent company, Meta Advertising, they released something called Andromeda, and it essentially entirely changed their system and how it works. And so what we're going to go over is, not only things that have been said by Meta, but also we've spent over $30 million in advertising. So everything we're going to go over is backed by data, essentially. We're not just, hey, this might work, this might not work. It's what we know works every single time. So Andromeda is an update they released 6-7 months ago and slowly rolled it out into accounts. At this point, it should be in everybody's account. And unfortunately, it's not something you can really opt out of. It is just in there. What we're going to go over is essentially what it is, what it affects, and how you can get your cost per lead and your quality back. Because that was the biggest thing we saw is one, cost per lead massively went up and the quality of the leads massively went down, which obviously is not great. But there are ways to fix it, which is the good thing. So first thing you need to know is that Meta likes to push these huge updates out every couple of years. If you were marketing in 2020, you probably remember iOS 14, which was this giant pissing match between Meta and Apple. And essentially Apple said, well, we're not going to let you track anybody on our phones, which really hurt advertisers because they couldn't get their conversions. Meta couldn't optimize. It was essentially overnight killed Meta ads for a lot of people. We knew a lot of marketing companies that had a lot of their eggs in that basket, and that was really brutal for them for a couple of months until workarounds were figured out. And we're essentially seeing that exact same thing right now with this advertising and this Andromeda update. So one of the biggest things I always recommend is never have all your eggs in one basket. Google Ads is another great option that we honestly, if you're running ads, you should be running. Obviously, it's people going to Google actually looking for window replacement companies, so the quality of the leads is typically higher. They typically want you to come out fairly soon versus, Meta ads. While they do definitely work, it is still people scrolling through social media. And really the best way to make this work is having Google ads run and then retargeting with Meta advertising. They are much more complicated, especially if you're in expert mode, which you should be. If you don't know what that is and you're running Google ads, if you haven't manually changed it into expert mode, you're in smart mode. Essentially allows Google to make 90% of the targeting options. So expert mode works extremely well. There's a much higher learning curve. But what it allows you to do is beat out companies that are willing to spend a lot more than you are. So if somebody's bidding $5 per click, you're bidding $3. There's something called quality score, and this is just one out of many components of it. But if you can beat them out in quality score, Google will actually show your ad over the person that is willing to spend that $5. And why they do that is because they think you have a high quality score, which means Google thinks your ad's going to get clicked more than the other ad that's willing to spend more, which is going to make Google more money. So getting quality score right is huge. And that's a mixture of the ad, the landing page, the entire experience, everything matching. If you're having issues with Google ads, that's probably one of the huge things. You can go in there, you can look up your quality score. You want it at a 7 or above. Anything under that, you're losing out on a lot. So yeah, a little off topic there, but back to Andromeda, and the two really big changes they made that affected everybody is one with the targeting. They massively devalued lookalike audiences, interest targeting, stuff like that. You can still do them if you set it up and you say, hey, I don't want any AI, but they essentially devalued them. So they do work, they just do not work as well. What they want you to do and what Andromeda is essentially using AI to find interested people. Now, this works great if you have an e-com brand and you just need to sell something, because it doesn't matter the quality of the person going. If they're going to buy, they're going to buy. Whereas for lead generation, service-based businesses, you need somebody good. You need somebody that can actually has the income, the credit score, all that kind of stuff to get their windows replaced. So it's a very different type of buyer. Even adding a lookalike audience, Meta now just says it's a suggestion. It doesn't just go off that lookalike audience. It takes it as a suggestion and then does whatever the heck it wants. So, how to beat that out is when you're setting up your conversions, you're only sending, like, you need to, on your form, if somebody's filling out to book a demo, you need to qualify them and disqualify them. It's the only way for Meta to optimize now and figure out who's good, who's bad. So we do things like, how many windows are you getting replaced? Do you need windows replaced, or is it just a window that needs to be fixed? You can ask credit score. It gets into a little, if you're sending them to a landing page, that works. If you're doing it on Meta, it actually flags this special category thing, so you don't want to do it there. But things that that your homeowners like are typically able to do, whether it's their income range, stuff like that. Disqualifying them and only sending the conversions back that are qualified, or how to fix that issue. The second thing it did is it went from you needed to have one campaign, one ad set, 3 ads, to one campaign, one ad set, at least 7 ads. And when I say ads, I just mean the images, the creatives. They need to be completely different, because essentially what Andromeda is going to do is going to quickly test these, pick the winners, not show the others at all. And if it sees 2 that are fairly similar, it's only going to test one of them. It's not going to test both, which sucks, because essentially how you get better ads and better CPL, stuff like that, is you find winning ads and then you start to test those. Well, what they've done is they've put on the actual ad level, so not campaign level, not ad set level, on the actual ad level, there's a button you can push to test different images that are fairly close, just little tweaks to find those ones that convert just a little bit better. But you need to have 7 images at least that are completely different. And that is per ad set. They've, again, downgraded the targeting options. So there's no longer also the days of, hey, I'm going to test a lookalike audience, I'm going to test a broad audience, I'm going to test the interest audience. You put them all into one audience and let Meta do its thing. Now, paid ads should obviously be a part of your strategy if you are trying to grow. Everybody knows that. One thing we see a lot of, though, is window companies neglecting their Google My Business, neglecting their SEO, and again, really going all in on one thing, whether it's Yelp, whether it's Home Advisor, Porch, any of those kind of things. Google is a great place to invest. And again, this isn't what this episode's about, but I want to touch on it real quick. 83% of homeowners go to Google when they're looking for window replacement. The others go to Yelp, Bing, Yahoo. If you've used Yelp before, you know how terrible they've gotten the last couple of years, but yeah, is what it is. So not only do 83% of homeowners go to Google to find their window replacement company, 99.37 won't leave the first page. So only 0.63% actually go to the second page. So if you're not on the first page, you might as well not exist. 93.2% of the clicks go into either the paid ads, your Google My Business, or the top 3 links. So if you're not in any of those areas, the amount of traffic you are losing out on is insane. Like if you're paying for SEO and you're not on that top 3, and how to really test is go onto your computer, open a private or an incognito browser. Because if you've looked up your company a bunch of times, Google knows that that's what you want to see. So it's going to pop it up number 1. But an incognito or a private tab gets rid of any of the cookies, any data, anything like that, and it will show you the actual top 3. If you're not in the top 3 for Google My Business, if you're not in the top 3 of the links, you're not doing any paid ads, you're essentially, if you're spending any money on SEO ads, stuff like that, you're wasting your money. There's no point in even being there. And how that essentially breaks down is, for the clicks and homeowners looking, is 28% of people click on the ads, 31 on the Google My Business, and 41 in the top 3 organic results. So that is huge to be on there. Like I said, have a mixed bag of Meta ads, Google ads, and really the most advanced way to do it is 1, be in expert mode on Google, but 2, use the majority of Meta for 1, retargeting people that have clicked on your Google ad but didn't convert, and then 2, using it as more of a way to get your name out there. Unless you really know what you're doing, or a company that specializes in marketing for window companies is doing it, you can get a ton of leads off of Meta, but they're going to be garbage. So making sure you're just qualifying people, things are set up correctly is huge. Now, what I've talked about is all the stuff we do for the window companies we work with. If you're interested in getting a free audit by us, you can feel free to shoot us a message, shoot us an email, info@thewindowmarketingpros.com. You can find us on Instagram, Window Marketing Pros, or our website. And hopefully this was helpful. Again, I know it really sucks when Meta decides to do these things because it really screws people over for a long time until people can figure out workarounds. With this and where we're seeing them go with AI, I don't think there's going to be any workarounds. We haven't been able to find any. I don't know anybody that's been able to find any. So essentially figuring out still how to get the best quality leads out of Meta by just qualifying people, by making sure you have the amount of creatives that you need to, and letting it test is huge. So anyway, this is kind of a short episode, but hopefully that helps. And if you've had issues with your Meta ads the last 6 months, that's why. I'll see you on the next one.